Alright, what's up guys? So the first episode of Pokemon Horizons aired. This anime is crazy. This anime is next level. I knew this is what they were gonna do. In this anime, you know the original Pokemon anime has got like this cartoon thing where every episode kind of loops again and again of them just having a good time? Well, here, there's an actual story going down. So the episode starts with, I think she moves from Paldea to Kanto. So the starter Pokemon in this academy called Indigo Academy are randomly assigned. So she moves into a new dorm at school and has this girl as her roommate. Her roommate gets an Oshawott, she gets a Sprigatito, but the Sprigatito is mad weak and also like can't use any moves, and it's also rebellious. So it's like running off during class and she has to go and find it. She tries to train the Sprigatito, but it's not really much help. She's trying to get it to use the move Leaf Edge. Also, I watched this in Japanese, so I could only go by context. You know, as days go by, her roommate is all happy with their Oshawott. They're getting along, but she and her Sprigatito don't really get along. And yeah, a few days later, when the roommate's not in the dorm, she goes under her bed and she opens up this box. And she looks at this charm inside, which is of course this Terrapagus looking charm, and the roommate just appears, so she sees it too, and so she explains that it's from her grandma. This charm is integral to the story, and yeah, eventually this evil guy, well, we assume he's evil, pops up and he like tries to diplomatically get the pendant back. He gives Liko this letter saying, oh, what I understand is she's saying your grandma said she wants the pendant back, and so she senses something wrong, and Sprigatito does too, which she has in her hands right now. She got it back, at least temporarily, before it runs off again. So she goes to her room and gets the pendant, quickly sneaks out with it, but they're already at her door knocking, so they're trying to get the pendant. And so she sneaks out through the window, and then she sees there's like 3 other people dressed the same way as him that are trying to find her for the pendant. She's like climbing roofs and all, but eventually they find her, and of course her Sprigatito is mad weak, so there's no way she's gonna be able to fight them. But just at that moment, this guy with the Charizard appears, and his name is Freed. So we got the school, then we got whatever the evil guys are, and then we got whoever Freed belongs to. So Freed holds him off. He's fighting with this Charizard versus the evil guy's Cerulege, and the animation is next level. Small details, them not having to announce every attack, and even like when they're fighting, it's damaging the windows and all. So this anime's turning a bit realistic. So mid-battle, she runs off with Sprigatito to escape, of course, keep hiding. She does pretty good maneuvering. She's about to escape and jump off to a place where they won't be able to see her anymore. But one of the attacks from the two fighting goes astray and lands right at her. And at that moment, this giant freaking Terrapagus shield appears and just guards her. And it's clearly from her pendant. Of course, they throw an ad break at that moment, but when the show returns, it shows you her perspective inside the shield. It's all green and hexagon-y. She looks down at Sprigatito, then sees this naked baby Terrapagus. It only lasts for like a few seconds, but the way the shield wears off is it literally shows the shield going into the baby Terrapagus and the Terrapagus reverting back into the pendant. So in some way, the pendant, she has Terrapagus. It's freaking with her. Who's her grandma? Her grandma, he's a wife? Like, what the frick? She has a freaking Terrapagus casually. And clearly these bad people have been looking for the pendant forever because Terrapagus is in there. And I guess they never knew the grandma had it. Maybe it's only when the grandma gave it that they finally heard about this pendant again. And yeah, when the shield wears off, Freed and his Charizard swoop and take her to escape. And the reaction of the bad guy, the main one, is like, bro, what the frick is that light? So obviously he knows what Terrapagus is, but he also doesn't know the full story or like what the hexagon shield was about. I guess he works for someone maybe, and they sent him to get the pendant. But we don't know anything about who he works for. He's the main evil one for now. So Freed and Charizard take Liko and Sprigatito far to this airship in the sky. And there you meet a couple other people who are on Freed's team. So I'll just say now, they're called the Rising Volt Tackers. So they're their own group. So you have the evil guys, the school, then the Rising Volt Tackers in the sky. And there's a few members in this. So if I counted them all, we have this coal girl who's working with like Slugmas in a furnace and the colossal Pokemon. We have this big buff dude. I think he uses rock types. We have a Chansey girl, and then we have this old man. They have names. I'm gonna assume these 5 make the Rising Volt Tackers, and that they're all extremely strong. I think something's wrong with the ship, like it's low on supply or something. So everyone quickly goes to their stations. The coal girl is trying to burn more coal with the coal Pokemon. Charizard goes down, tries to heat it up. This whole ship is freaking cool. They have like every little detail that fits with the Pokemon world. They got a nose pass for a compass, and they have a Captain Pikachu, which it stands on its tail. I guess it belongs to Freed, but it's like the captain of the ship. Even when Freed refers to the Pikachu, he calls it Captain. I don't know if he got the Pikachu from someone else or it's just a fun title for him. But when you look out, the freaking evil mans are flying to the ship on Skarmories and a Corviknight. And they're apparently called the Explorers. So while the ship people are trying to get the ship fully back to normal so they can thrust off away from them, Liko's alone in the main room of the ship, and she has like all the little Pokemon of the ship like Snorunt, and she's trying to keep them company. But during this, the bad guys actually managed to break onto the ship and are casually walking up the stairs of the ship and meet Liko in her room. I don't know, is her name Liko? Maybe it's Liko. So they got her cornered, right? So they ask her why she's running and then what the light from the pendant was, but she doesn't really answer them. And since she's cornered, they literally have her surrender and go with them. But of course, as she's walking off the ship and leaving with them, and I assume they would have taken her back to the evil base and successfully got Terrapagus. It looks like because she brought out the light that they want to take her along with the pendant, because there might be like a package there. Like, since it's her pendant, she's able to bring out whatever's in it. So anyhow, while they're about to walk away with her, Freed pops up again and fights him for a rematch. This time he sends out Pikachu, and he does this cool strategy where he sends a bunch of double teams and prepares this giant thunder and slams the stair ledge. The fighting is destroying the ship, which is a new detail in this anime. Remember, it was destroying the windows at the school earlier? It's actually dangerous to fight. The Pokemon on the ship are getting like injured during this, so Liko sees that this is not good to fight on the ship. So she tries to surrender, and it looks like just go with them just to stop the fight. But at that moment, the Sprigatito kind of pushes off her. I guess it's mad at her for trying to surrender, but it seems implied that it's got some sort of plan. So she tries again to use a leafage with it, and she summons this gigantic leaf. It looks like a solar beam petal blizzard. She summons this giant leafage, her first real time using it, and it's so big it completely messes up the ship. It like tilts it, and Freed don't have to escape. They're like sliding off the ship. I don't know if the Sprigatito is like a legendary one. It's like secretly extremely strong. But there's all this turmoil and giant winds about to send the bad guys off. So we won, right? We protected the pendant. But before the bad guys escape, they actually kidnapped the Sprigatito. And so she's lost her starter Pokemon. And that's how the episodes end. So you can see this anime, they're actually going for something. They're going for a story where she has the pendant. And I'm going to assume it's going to be like a 50 episode anime, where at the end you're going to learn what her grandma was, what's in the pendant. And this is going to go alongside the Scarlet and Violet hype season and be its own cool story about, you know, Area Zero, the Paradox Pokemon, the Time Machine. It'll all probably play a role in this anime. You know, maybe wherever the evil guy is from, they have like research and have made like an ass time machine, a prototype one, or trying to send out Pokemon from different timelines, and that's why they want Terrapagus, because it's like the real deal. They'll supply it. You never know what kind of cool plot twist will happen in this show, but it definitely has its own feel compared to the normal anime. What the hell is this? Hey, wait! Anyhow, I'll try to do this every week because I think this anime might turn out to be something cool and might have, you know, hints to Scarlet and Violet as well. So make sure you guys shank that like button, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.